Peter Eliades with you, Stock Market Cycles update for Wednesday, May 27th. You can see NDX on the screen right now, and I'm showing it because it's given some pretty good signals over the past couple of days, these little short-term extremes. Let's get something straight, okay? You do need to remain vigilant when you have this software or any other method of market analysis. The reason I say that is because sometimes you'll see a projection for one index that will not agree with a projection for the other. For example, look at this. This is today's low, okay? 13 bars in a cash market day. This is the NDX cash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is the first bar of the morning for the NDX, okay? Came well down, broke below the offset lines, and you're saying, well, wait a minute, where is this thing really going to start to the downside all of a sudden? We gave you a couple of fulfilled projections on the IWM, the ETF for the Russell 2000 yesterday. Are we starting a big move to the downside? And look at this. I mean, this move to the upside before the big decline was caught virtually exactly. There was a big box, but that's because there was a big space between crossing the first offset and the second offset. But if you bring this down a little bit and look at it, there you go. Came right into the middle of that projection window, okay? So the point I want to make is when you have the software yourself, I cannot go through all the indexes every day for you. Say, this is what the Dow showed, here's what the S&P showed, here's the 30-minute chart for the Dow, here's the futures chart 27. I can't do that. You know that. So one of the reasons for you to get the software is you can do that, especially with the instruments that you're interested in trading. That's very important. The other thing that's very important is you work down from the longer term to the intermediate term to the shorter term. You should know by now, if you're watching these updates, that we have significantly higher projections to the upside that are significantly higher than current levels. That's the most important thing to keep in mind. So if you start looking for pullbacks, you look for pullbacks within the picture of there being much higher projections outstanding. The only time that changes is if you start to get significant downside projections or if you invalidate the significantly higher upside projections. I don't want to make that sound too complicated. It's not. It's not complicated at all. Once you get the feel of it, once you have the software, if you're interested in it, you will get the feel for it and see that looking at different instruments will give you the answers to a lot of the questions you might have about the short-term, intermediate term, and long-term. Do we get some stupid questions and stupid remarks? Yes, we do. But we also get some very intelligent ones and very complimentary ones. In fact, if it's not asking too much, I would ask virtually all of you that are watching the update today, and I know we're getting a lot of viewers virtually every day, go and say something positive if you feel like it. If you have something negative to say, I'm not going to stop you. Just give us a good reason for it. Nothing emotional, nothing stupid like some of the comments I've seen over the past couple of days. Don't say anything emotional. Give us something constructive to work on, and we'll try to work on it. But if you're enjoying the updates, if you're getting something from them, I would ask you to go below the video after you watch it and make some kind of constructive remark. Give us a thumbs up. Give us something to encourage me, because when I see some of these remarks that I'm seeing, I get a little discouraged. It's not that they make me think, oh, you're wasting people's time and there's nothing to what you're saying. I will never feel that because I know the value of the cycle projections, but it will make me feel a lot better if I see some constructive remarks underneath. And believe me, I can take negative remarks if there's some substance to them, okay? There we go. That's my little lecture for the day. So here was the upside projection. hit right in the middle of the projection window. This morning we came down. Look at this. Hit right inside here. Now, the important thing when you come down to an area like this is to look at the next longer offset and see if you have lower downside projections. So let's do that. Actually, we had projections, but it was about the same area. A lot bigger box, but it came down and maybe like a tick or two beneath it here. Let's go to the next longer projection. This is what you should be doing once you get a downside projection. Here you go. Okay, so you got down here. You met downside projections. There were no further ones given. What does that mean? It means there should be a turning point here. Boom. That's what you did the rest of the day, okay? All right, that's the short term. That's something I wanted to show you. But something else I wanted to show you is something we haven't looked at for quite a while. Do you remember these charts? You should remember them if you were watching several weeks ago. The green line is the 50-day MA, okay? These are the retracement levels. And it's retracements on a closing basis for the S&P. This was the all-time high close. This was the March 23rd low close. And these give you the retracement levels, 50%, 61.8. So remember this a couple of weeks ago? When did it happen? Maybe a month ago. It was April 29th, almost exactly a month ago. When we got up there, I told you at the time we had seen a 61.8% retracement, which was a typical Fibonacci retracement. And I also said, don't be surprised if from here you get a move down to either the 50% level on a retracement to the downside or to the 50-day MA. Look and see what happened, folks, okay? Look, this is the S&P cash. It came down virtually exactly to the 50% retracement level again, and up she went. Almost straight up. Look what the Dow did on the other hand. The Dow, which was up here, April 29th, I believe this is the same day. Indeed it is. The Dow came down just about to the 50-day MA. Didn't quite get down there, but it came down to the area of the 50-day MA, and then it turned to the upside. In fact, the Dow today just got above the 61.8 on a closing basis. So these are positive charts. They show positive momentum. The S&P got above the 61.8% retracement. The Dow Jones Industrial is just barely above it today. But I wanted to show you that. Now, one last chart. And this one's very interesting too, because this should be an old friend of ours. Daily Advanced Decline Line, New York Stock Exchange. I was showing the same thing back here. This is the same day, April 29th. What I did was draw some bottoms lines right here on the AD line. It's anchored, if you're interested in replicating it, it's anchored on the closing low. The AD line, all we look at is closing lows. We don't look at it intraday prices usually. So it begins on May 31st, that would be right here, and it comes up to October 3rd. Notice that there's another hit almost exactly on it, another almost down to it, this one just a tiny bit beneath it. So this is a good trend line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 points, okay? Then we broke it decisively. Now what I did was I drew a parallel channel line that went back to the December of 18 low, the Christmas low in 2018. And I theorized at the time, I showed you this. If it wasn't April 29th, it was darn close to it. If you don't believe me, go back and look. I showed you this and said, there should be resistance here. Well, look what happened. Boom, April 29th. Down we came. And look what we've done back again. We're back to that line once again. This is important territory. It's another resistance level that the market needs to get above if it wants to prove itself in terms of going back on some of the indexes to the prior all-time highs, okay? So this is, I wanted to show you this AD line. This is something we're going to watch with you over the next couple of days. Okay, I hope I've given you some additional information here. Thanks a lot for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, do so. Bottom right of the screen. Once you do that, click on the notification bell. You'll be notified anytime an update goes on. Whether it's at the end of the day or in the middle of the day, you will be notified of a new update. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll talk to you Thursday afternoon, evening.